The war in Ukraine continues with full intensity. June 30th, 2026. Soldiers scattered across open ground, searching for cover that doesn't exist, moving without formation, without any real objective in sight. This is the picture on most of this front right now. Not coordinated assaults, just men sent forward and left to figure out the rest on their own. Every one of them becomes a target the moment a drone picks them up. This is what that looks like, one soldier at a time. One of the most striking moments captured on this front. A Russian soldier wandering aimlessly, spotted by reconnaissance drones from the 6th Battalion. He could barely walk straight. What he was doing out here, where he was even headed, was impossible to tell. The drone kept watching for a while. He talked to himself, made strange, erratic movements, never once noticing the eye in the sky, following his every step. An FPV was already inbound. When it finally got close, he noticed it, dropped to a crouch, and for some reason grabbed a tree branch off the ground instead of his weapon. The outcome was already decided. The drone connected, and there was no surviving it. A Russian soldier moving alone through the darkness with no idea an FPV drone is right behind him. By the time he finally reacts, it has already reached him. There was nothing left to do at that point. Fresh soldiers, just arrived by vehicle, struck before they even get the chance to settle into position. This is what the front looks like now. Drones waiting everywhere, no matter where you show up. An FPV drone waiting silently on the ground. A Russian soldier rides past on an ATV, completely unaware. It lifts off the moment he's gone and gives chase from behind. He keeps moving forward, never realizing what's closing in on him. He probably never even heard it coming. Russian forces are still trying to establish a foothold in the Lyman direction, and Ukrainian drones keep shutting it down every single time. 2 motorbikes spotted moving toward Russian positions through a forested area, locked on within seconds. One rider doesn't make it any further. Deeper into the trees, there's nowhere left to run, nowhere left to hide. Soldiers try scattering between the trunks, blending into the shadows, but it doesn't matter. Attempt after attempt, operation after operation, every single one ends the same way. Scanning Donetsk for any sign of Russian movement toward Ukrainian positions, a Magyar's drone operator spots 2 soldiers on a road. The FPV drone moves in fast. Both open fire, again and again. None of it lands. One takes the hit directly, the strike ending it before he ever gets the chance to find cover. Ukraine's Muramasa drone team, continuing fiber-optic FPV, strikes against Russian logistics. Supply trucks, the target of choice, each one carrying exactly what frontline positions depend on to keep functioning. Fiber-optic guidance means these drones can't be jammed by electronic warfare, making them especially difficult for Russian convoys to defend against. Truck after truck, this supply route keeps getting cut. A Russian soldier trying to move along the front on a scooter. An odd choice, but Russia's running out of better options. Either way, an FPV drone closes the distance just as easily. Russia tries patching up a damaged bridge near Vasilivka, sending workers and equipment to get it crossable again. A Ukrainian drone makes sure those repairs never finish. 3 elderly Russian soldiers, all within a few hundred meters of each other in the Pokrovsk direction, all targeted by Ukrainian drones. None of them put up any kind of fight. Each one drops to the ground and just waits when the drone appears. Why they're even out here, what they were sent to do, isn't clear. No training behind any of it. The last thing each one sees is the same drone closing in. Yegorevsk, Moscow region, a Ukrainian long-range drone, knocked off course by Russian electronic warfare, crashes into a building. 2 Russian soldiers riding on top of a vehicle loaded with supplies, unaware Ukraine's Phoenix unit has already found them. The delivery never makes it to wherever it was headed. Oleksandrivka direction, Ukraine's 79th Airborne Brigade pushing offensive operations here, and Russian forces are struggling to respond. Small infantry groups, no real coordination, none of it working. Logistics have become so difficult in this sector that Russia is now resupplying its own troops by drone instead of ground transport. In total, this brigade alone has taken nearly 500 Russian soldiers out of action in this direction. More footage emerging from the FP-5 Flamingo strike on the Titan-Barrikady plant in Volgograd. This is one of Ukraine's heaviest cruise missiles, carrying a warhead capable of leveling industrial-scale targets like this facility, which manufactures components for Iskander missiles, artillery systems, and naval weapons used directly against Ukraine. The full extent of the damage is still coming into view, but for a plant this critical to Russia's military production, even partial destruction sets that pipeline back significantly. Eastern Front. After Ukrainian aviation drops a GBU bomb on a Russian drone position, all that's left is a crater. Time to cut off their fuel and ammunition. Find it, reach it, take it apart piece by piece. Ukrainian drones running this process constantly across the sector. Not a single decisive battle, but a steady, methodical operation that never really stops, day after day. The same routine, repeated non-stop, slowly grinding down everything Russia sends through this front, one target at a time. Ukraine's Rybaka drone unit running an operation built entirely around one target. Russian artillery pieces that have been shelling Ukrainian positions for an extended period. D-30 howitzers dug into position, hit repeatedly with fiber-optic drones. Strike after strike until each gun is taken offline. A dedicated effort to silence the artillery that's been causing damage here for far too long. A Russian soldier in rough shape, no weapon, uniform torn apart, nothing left on him after however long he's been out here. He spots the drone watching him from above and makes a decision. Most don't. Instead of running or trying to hide, he starts following it. Ukraine's Skelya unit, 425th Assault Regiment, guides him on a long walk across open terrain toward their own position, the drone leading every step of the way. No strikes, no harm, just patience. He eventually reaches Ukrainian soldiers, waits where he's told, and surrenders without incident. After everything else you've seen on this front, it's a reminder that sometimes giving up is exactly what gets a soldier out of this alive. Veliky Burluk direction. A Russian Mustay S self-propelled howitzer, one of Russia's more capable artillery systems, taken out by Ukraine's Northern Eagle Battalion. The detonation that follows is massive. The kind of secondary explosion that comes from a vehicle still loaded with shells when it goes down. A Russian TOS-1A Solntsepiok in the Vovchansk direction, a thermobaric rocket system, one of the most destructive weapons in Russia's arsenal, designed to incinerate everything in a wide radius using a fuel-air explosion. Worth millions of dollars. Just 2 drones, and it never gets the chance to fire. A container floating offshore, and inside it, something Russia never expected to find in the Black Sea. A Guardian 1 interceptor drone, launched remotely from an unmanned surface vessel. No crew, no risk, just a sealed box that opens and lets the threat out. The kind of weapon that turns an empty stretch of water into a launch site nobody can see coming. Ukraine's Shkval border unit, a full sweep of Russian assets in their sector. An ambush drone, found and destroyed before it could activate. A communication antenna, knocked out. A fortified position, struck directly. An ATV, eliminated. And a self-propelled artillery system, taken down in the same operation. 5 separate targets, 5 separate strikes, all within this one sector. Russia keeps throwing Molnia and Lancet strike drones at the Lyman direction, one after another. Ukraine's 66th Mechanized Brigade isn't slowing down either. Their air defense interceptor crews methodically tracking and shooting down these threats, leaving Russian forces with fewer and fewer ways to actually land a hit. Every interception here means a vehicle that doesn't burn, a position that doesn't take a direct strike. Transbaikal Krai. Around 400 vehicles lined up along both sides of the road. According to people there, this is the only gas station within 600 kilometers that still has fuel. Some report waiting more than 24 hours just to reach the pump. This isn't an isolated incident anymore. It's part of a pattern stretching across multiple regions, all tracing back to the same source. Russia's refineries keep getting hit, and the effects keep spreading further from the front, deeper into everyday life. What you just watched is happening every single day. Soldiers scattered, searching for cover that isn't there, falling one after another with no real plan behind any of it. As of today, June 30th, Russia's total combat losses have reached approximately 1,403,430 personnel, 1,230 in the last 24 hours alone. Ukrainian long-range strikes on Russia have escalated sharply this year. Drone attacks on Moscow city alone went from an average of 4 per month to nearly 40 in just the past several weeks. The Moscow oil refinery has now been hit twice this month, supplying over a third of the region's fuel. Russia keeps pushing forward with whatever soldiers it can send, while gaining almost no ground for the cost, and almost nothing left untouched behind its own lines. Ukraine keeps finding them, on the ground, in the sky, and now deep inside Russia's own capital region. The front hasn't broken, but the pressure keeps building from every direction at once. Drop a comment. How much longer can this continue?